Lizzie,
Looks
you
like
want to
him.
talk about Chris Cuomo, who's the brother of Andrew Cuomo, the disgraced governor from the state of New York.
New
What do we want to talk
York.
about?
So first of all, disgraced governor from the state of New York. So this is the second. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. This is the second governor of New York within the past decade who's been forced out or who has stepped down because of a sex scandal. The first was Elliot Spitzer. He was sleeping with the prostitutes, got caught on
Lord.
tape talking about whatever. Now we have Andrew Cuomo, son of, former, governor of New York,
No.
Mario Cuomo, right? But this story is about his brother Chris, who is an anchor, a TV personality on CNN, and he's been taken to task because of his actions during the investigation. He apparently violated some of CNN's moral clauses, moral protocols, not only in, the way he was acting in the office about his brother's situation, but in terms of how he was advocating for his brother behind the scenes, even though, he has been, you know, first and foremost out in the front talking about the Me Too movement, holding people to task for their indiscretions, for their misdeeds. And so now he's coming back. I believe he's coming back this week to his show
Yep.
on
Yeah.
CNN. And a lot of people think that, he's catching flack because he was still on. He took a vacation, a 1 week vacation last week. And because he didn't talk about his brother's circumstance. I'm like, no, that's not why he's catching flack. He's catching flack because it was a conflict of interest and because he violated the moral code as a journalist. I offered that as soon as these allegations came out, he should have taken a leave of absence. That was my
Hmm.
position. He should have taken a leave of absence because you can't be
I
on
thought he
television.
resigned.
No, we're talking about two different people.
No, we're talking about the brother, Chris
Oh, sorry.
Cuomo, on CNN.
Oh,
He
okay.
should have taken a leave of absence because you can't be on your show yelling at people, calling them out for doing the same thing while your brother is up in New York City hugging women, allegedly grabbing their butt, allegedly kissing them on the lips when they don't want it. You can't be in that position. So my question to you all is, what should happen to Chris Cuomo?
Robbie,
Like,
we only
should
got
he continue to have his career
2 minutes.
in the spotlight on CNN?
I think that he should. I mean, he lost his objectivity. He behaved as a protective brother first, maybe in denial, whatever his motivations were. But you're right, Liz. It's at the end of the day, it's a breach of ethics. It's a breach of conduct, and CNN should hold him accountable to that. But should it ruin his career? No, I don't think so. Should he be canceled? No. For stories that hit so close to home, have another reporter take the reins so that the show can remain objective. Because just being related to a person of influence does create a conflict because you would have a loyalty to that individual, providing they had a healthy relationship, which I guess they kind of did because he's trying to look out for his bro.
All right, John.
Yeah.
Minute 30.
Um, yeah, along the lines of what Rob's saying, I don't think that he should ruin his career, but maybe he can find somewhere else. Like maybe he doesn't have to be a part of CNN. Maybe he can find he can have a podcast or something like a different something else.
Hey, we'll
'Cause
take
I
you.
feel like yeah, we'll take you, Chris.
Or go to Fox News, which isn't actually journalism but entertainment.
That's true.
Yep.
I mean, as
Or
far as
that
I'm
part.
concerned, I'm with Robbie on this one. I don't think he needs to be canceled for it. I mean, he just happened to have a brother
No.
who was who
But birds
was
of a
disgraced. I
feather.
mean, sure, he
So
probably did a few extra things because it was his brother. I get it, but I mean, but at this point, now, whatever reprimand you feel he should have, give it to him. But I don't think it should ruin his career at all.
no.
Again, as the only journalist on the panel, he violated CNN's policy when they told him to shut it down.
I like Chris
And you
Cuomo.
can't And it doesn't matter if you like
I
Biased.
him.
keep
I don't
watching.
dislike him. I don't dislike him.
I keep watching.
But
He
he's
violated
totally
journalism
he
conduct.
violated policy, and he's not credible anymore at this
I
point. Like you
disagree with
can't be
that.
True.
on your
I disagree.
you can't be on your show yelling, screaming, giving the business to other people in the same situation when you gave your brother a pass and you were trying to get your brother off. So yeah, if it were my network, maybe I'll put you on the entertainment beat, but you certainly wouldn't have a show that was, interviewing politicians
Nah,
or
I
real
hope he
news stories.
continues with what he's doing. I
Real,
think he was
go to
doing some
Fox
really good
News.
stuff.
You can sit up
change
there
his
with
job.
Tucker Carlson. You
I
can sit
think
up
he was
there with
doing. I
Tucker
think he was doing some
Carlson.
really good stuff.
Be
with
an
his
entertainment.
No.
Go to
He's
Entertainment
not Tucker
Tonight.
Carlson. Let's get to these
You can go to
comments.
Entertainment Tonight.
Benny Love Shell says, I really feel that some of these calls for Chris to resign or lose his career are ridiculous and a bit of an overreach. I'm with Benny on this one. Jacqueline
Yeah,
Robinson says,
again, you guys aren't journalists, but I'll accept your
that
opinion.
doesn't
You guys
matter.
aren't
It
journalists.
doesn't, I can still have
I'll
a
accept your
similar. I can still have an opinion. I can be a journalist.
But
have
you
an opinion
haven't
on.
taken the oath as a journalist. That's my point.
I
But
still.
He
I'll
broke a
take your
rule.
opinion.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good with.
And let's be real. Let's be real. We would be singing a different tune if he were a Republican.
I don't know.
Defending.
It would depend on how
we would
serious the situation
we
was.
would be
Because
singing
if it were like a
tune.
continuous issue, like I mean, this is a one-off basically.
It's not a one-off. A one-off isn't several women.
Okay. Well, no, I'm not talking
Leo would
about.
say-
No. I'm not talking about Andrew Cuomo. I'm talking about Chris.
Chris. Oh.
But it's a big one-off. It's a big one-off.
I'm talking about Andrew. I do not respect anything that Andrew did. I do not condone any of that.
Jacqueline Robinson, CNN is notorious for advocating and promoting trash people. Rick Santorum. Look how
he's
long
trash.
it took them to get rid of Santorum. Hello.
All right, Olivia says her husband and her Robel wonder how his brother covers the story. Then she Googled it and found his statement, and she laughs. All right, Latoya Blakely also says, "Good point, Rob." All right, that's it for our hot topics. That was actually a fun one. I wish I had more time for that one because I had some more comments. But let's get into our game show. Let's knock it out. We're gonna keep it short.
What was that truth, lies, or shenanigans?
Oh, yeah, come on. Remind me. Yeah, you got to remind me. What was that? I definitely shenanigans.
Truth, he needs to go.
Shenanigans.
No, I think a lot of people are
Liz
also
is the
caught up
outlier
in
today.
the fact. A lot of people are also caught up in the fact that he's a good-looking guy. Truth.
I don't know
Yeah, he
anything
is.
about him being a
He's a
good-looking
go.
guy.
He's a go.
Neil's like, I don't know about that, but he's cool.
Come on,
That
get off your high
doesn't
horse.
play anything at all. It doesn't play into my thoughts.
Get off your high horse. You know
Men
he's a
never-
good-looking guy. You know he don't look like Pookie on the corner. He's a good-looking guy.
It doesn't play into it at all. So